What up? What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Hector coming from Washington Heights. What's going on? Like I said, and hope everybody had a good Memorial Day weekend. I know tomorrow is the holiday, but the weekend is wrapped up. Everybody was safe out there, had fun, good burgers, beers, whatever you do, all that good stuff, as long as it was safe. And I wanted to do this episode. I was gonna go live today, but I had to step out and time caught up to me, and I wasn't gonna go live at 11 p.m. Anybody was gonna tune into that, right? But I still have some stuff that I wanted to talk about. I wanted to look back at this past series here with the Giants, and then maybe take a look forward at the Dodgers series a little bit, and just my thoughts about what's going on. The whole buy or sell thing that seems to be the hot topic right now that everybody wants to talk about. Even myself, even I've made comments about it. I've talked about maybe it's time to sell, and like right now, don't even wait. But at the same time, my approach and my thinking of selling is a lot different than what a lot of the other guys are talking about. You know what I'm saying? That you hear out here, on X or on YouTube, on podcasts, whatever, however you listen to podcasts. Everybody has their own different opinions, and I have mine, and I'm gonna share those with you tonight, hopefully. And we're gonna try to keep this short, not to be too long. Keep it maybe 30 minutes, maybe less, maybe a little bit longer. We'll see what happens. Sometimes I think I'm gonna say one thing, and then you start talking, and it goes on and on and on. But before we do get into all that stuff, I did want to look back a little bit at this series, and not too much because I've been a little bit busy this weekend, so I haven't been able to tune all the way into the games, and I've gone back and I watched a little bit of both Friday and Saturday. Today I watched the game, although the end there I got a little busy and I kind of tuned out a little bit. But obviously we know what happened. But the first two games, you want to go back and watch at the same time, hearing that what's going on and looking at the box score and all that. It's like, oh man, do I really want to go back and torture myself watching this stuff? So as much as I did try to go back, even when I did, it was hard to pay attention and I didn't watch completely. But just touch on it a little bit. Not the way you want to start a 10-game series at home for sure. Not the way you want, not a 10-game series, a 10-game homestand, right? You got three with the Giants, you got three coming up starting tomorrow with the Dodgers, and then you'll have four to end the homestand with the Diamondbacks. And the whole idea in the season is you want to try to win series. And obviously, this team has not been winning series. It hasn't won a series in a long time. I don't believe. I should have checked, but it's been a while. They think they won one after not winning one for a long time. They won one, and now I think they've lost the last two or whatever the case may. Excuse me, whatever the case may be. But so you want to win the series, and this team already beat you 2 out of 3. So you want to try to make a statement against them and maybe try to get a little payback, right? And you start off on a good note on a Friday night with the rookie Christian Scott, who goes out there and gives you a heck of a game. And like the Mets tend to do with good pitching performance, it goes to waste. Whether it be because the hitting's not there or the bullpen falters at the end, there's always a way for the Mets to blow these games, right? And in this case, I mean, shoot, they kind of, I guess, no, they had the lead. I'm sorry, I'm kind of looking at the box score here just to refresh my memory. And the Mets jumped out to a 1-0 lead. The Giants come back in the second, tie it up, go up in the third, 2-1. The Mets come back in the fourth, and then they go up now 3-2, and then add on another two in the fifth, and then another one in the seventh. And you're like, okay, here we go. We're on the roll. Scott gives you, what was it? I think it was 6 innings of 2-run ball, and the experiment started, right? You bring Edwin Diaz in for what I thought was a so-so inning. People were all excited. Oh, Edwin Diaz, oh, he looked good, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, but it was okay. The slider still didn't have that much bite. They have that much control. The fastball was okay. I think he got one up to like maybe 99. But to me, it wasn't something that said, okay, he's ready to go back into the closer's role. You know what I'm saying? Maybe give me one or two more outings like that, and I would say, okay, maybe you could make that step. But the Mets always quick, always in a panic mode. It doesn't matter who's in charge, whatever, who's calling the shots. The Mets always seem to be in panic mode. I don't know why. It's something that drives me crazy. And we'll go to the next day to see what happened. But just to finish on Friday, Diaz gives you that good inning, and then you have Garrett coming in, right? Whom you have to feel good about, whom has been pitching great. But like often happens with the Mets, with guys that are pitching well, when you ask them to step up, or when there's a game where Like, you want to win as many games as possible. You always want to win games or whatever the case. But there's always games that, like, you know what? We need this game right here. And Friday night was that type of game, especially because of the way I started. You had a couple of home runs, and we'll get on that a little bit too. You see this team it's incredible, right? And that's what I'm talking about sometimes, where numbers and stats don't tell the whole story, right? So if I would have told you this, right? So if I would have told you that the Mets are gonna hit 3 home runs in 3 consecutive games, you're gonna tell me, oof, those sounds like wins to me, right? At least 2 of those games you're gonna win. Who hits 3 home runs in a game and loses? You might do it once, but you're not gonna do it twice. You damn sure as hell not gonna do it 3 times, are you? But guess what? The 2024 Mets do it. So they go 3 games in a row where they hit 3 home runs. But here's the thing, right? 3 solo home runs in each game. I'm pretty sure about that. I know I mentioned this in one of my videos. If you guys, check my videos out on X, and again, it's a good time I guess to talk about that, right? You can follow me on X on at HHEC13, I believe it is. I probably should double check that since I'm giving it out. But if you're watching this, you probably follow me on X. If you don't, whatever. Just follow me here. And let's talk about that too. Like and subscribe and all that good stuff. Share all of that good stuff. But anyways, where were we? So this team is out here hitting solo home run after solo home run after solo home run, and with opportunity to hit him with men on base too, right? So they go 3 games in a row where they hit 3 home runs and they still lose. But even Friday, they scored 7 runs. Even with 3 solo home runs, they were still able to get hits with men on base and get 7 runs, and you still lose the game because now you have Reed Garrett, who you asked to step up and can't step up and gives up 5 runs, right? And then you have Lopez coming after him, and he was also shaky. And they both have had great years so far. But we know what's happened so far with this team, where the starting pitching hasn't been able to get past the 5th inning. And when it does, you're biting your nails. You're a nervous wreck, right? At least I am. And I will expand on that a little bit, but I'll say it now. I don't know about you guys, but I remember when Terry Collins, when these young guys first came up, the Wheelers, the Harvey, the Grom, Mats, all of these guys. As soon as they would get close to 100 pitches, they were out of the game, right? And whenever Terry would push them, it seemed as soon as they got to that 100 pitch, between 100 and 107, they came the home run. They came the meltdown. You know what I'm saying? And with these guys now is as much as we want to see the starting pitching go more than 5 innings, whenever they do, you get nervous. Or at least I do, because it seems like in the 6 innings when they start to fall apart. You know what I'm saying? So you want to see that improve. But we're talking about that because the pitching kind of almost lost my train of thought there a little bit. But hey, guys, like I say, I'm not a professional, man. I'm not a professional. I do this for fun. I do this to talk to you from a fan's perspective, and that's all we're doing here. That's why it might look a little bit dark, but we're working on it. We need some lighting. I understand. Everybody yeah, yo, heck, you need some lighting. Yo, heck, you need a microphone. We got a microphone now. We'll see how it works. Hopefully, there's not too much background noise. We may need to upgrade, but we're starting low. We're starting low. Heck, you need a camera. Well, the camera's been there, right? You need an HD camera. I've been had the HD camera. The problem is we're a novice, right? We want to see how this goes. We're not gonna go out there and spend big bucks on a subscription to the application we use here so that they can transmit in HD. Who the hell wants to see me in HD anyways? You want to hear the nonsense that I got to say. Yeah, you get to see me a little bit, but you really want to see this in HD? Come on. I don't need to break no cameras. I don't need you to turn this off. I want you to listen to what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? But we're working on all that good stuff. The camera's there. Maybe if this goes well, we'll upgrade, and then these guys will let me transmit in HD. That's the problem. They won't transmit in HD because of I'm like at not the free level. I'm like at the beginners level or whatever the hell, the entry level thing, just to see how this works. But anyways, a little side note there. This is how it's gonna be, the unprofessional way. But yeah, I get nervous when I see these pitchers go into the 6th inning. That's the bottom line. All of these guys, and some of them do okay. We saw Savvy today. I think maybe he got into the 7th. We'll touch on that. But just to wrap up, because we don't want to talk too much about these series. The series was horrible. Again, Friday, a little bit of offense, then it falls apart at the end. Then you go to Saturday, and I'm sorry, I don't remember all the details. Um, but Saturday was another game. It was going well, and we know what happened. We know what happened. Now we remember. So Diaz had a good game. So what did the Mets say? Oh yeah, he's ready to close after one so outing. Like I said, to me, it was a so outing. I didn't think it was that great. To them, it was. You go out there. Now yesterday they hit two solo home runs, and still lost the game. So it wasn't so much where they hit the three home runs, but it was 4 games in a row where you hit multiple home runs. And now this thing doesn't want to cooperate with me and get me to Saturday's game. Great. But you have 4 games in a row where you hit multiple home runs and you lose the game. Only the Mets can figure out a way to do that. But yesterday, what I do want to touch on yesterday is the end of the game, right? A play that happened at the end of the game where Alonso threw the ball away. With, not really threw the ball away, but made a offline throw to Lindor. Lindor probably should have caught the ball, and he didn't, right? And this is something that stood out to me. This is something that stood out to me, which is probably going to lead to something that I wanted to talk about, and we'll leave the freaking recap of the Giants series alone, I guess, and maybe we'll come back to it. But on that play, something that I maybe it only stands out to me because these are the stupid things that I think about, right? But I'm watching that play and I see McNeil and he's like running to second base and he kind of like gets not in the way, but I'm pretty sure he got in Pete's line of vision, right? And yes, Pete was trying to probably avoid hitting the runner. At the same time, I wonder if he saw McNeil kind of like running there. And you see McNeil's like awkwardly trying to get to second base. Like, what do I do? And it's not the first time. I noticed that a lot when there's plays like that. And he doesn't know if he should cover, he shouldn't cover. And it's something that I'm like, wait a minute. This is something that you've already talked about before the pitch is thrown. As soon as the batter comes up, the situation, you got it, I got it, whatever the case may be. That ball is hit to Pete, dude. There's no reason why you're covering second base. There's no shift. There's none of that nonsense going on where sometimes there was that kind of confusion. So why the hell you're running to second base like that? I have no idea. I have no idea. I don't even know. We could even say that maybe Lindor saw him at the corner of his eye. Now, no excuse. That's no excuse for Pete. No excuse for Lindor. You make that play. But then also, come on, Diaz, what's going on, my dude? What's going on? Is this really what we're gonna get now? I don't think so. I hope not. I expected some rust when you coming back. Is this rust? I hope that's all it is. You know what I'm saying? I hope it's not that this injury really, did a number on you. I don't think it is. As someone who's had that same injury on each of my knees, I feel confident that him with better care and all that, being an athlete and already being in better shape and all that than I was, will be perfectly fine. Um, and you listen, he's definitely fully healed. He should have the strength. If there's anything you do in the rehab, is build strength. So that leg should be strong as heck. Um, Now I don't know how much he was throwing, but think about this. Think about this. Imagine if Edwin Diaz not even if he was able to, because I think the point is if the Mets were performing well last year, right? He would have actually tried to come back. Imagine what that would have looked like, you know? But listen, tough series like the Mets have been doing. Again, talk about 2022. Remember in 2022 when all we talked about is, man, this team can't finish a series. Why can't this team sweep? They would win the first 2 games and they would never be able to sweep. Now they reversed that. Now they lose the first 2 games and win the last one to salvage the series. Can we now? I'd rather go back to 2022 when you were winning series and couldn't finish it off, you know what I'm saying, with a sweep, than this nonsense that's going on now where you lose the first two and win the last one. But at least you got to salvage that last game. You know what I'm saying? Heck of a ball game today by Mania. But again, already I was thinking, I hope they don't let him go 6. They didn't. Shout out to Hauser. Shout out to Hauser who came out and did the damn job today. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Beta who came out today and did the damn job. You know what I mean? And shout out to the whole team for grinding. Listen, I know sometimes we talk about the teams, what they should do, what they shouldn't do, and this team that, this team this, and break it up. Like I said, don't break it up. But even a guy like Narvaez, who's embarrassing today he gets his first hit at City Field. I don't know how many at bats it is. I should probably have looked that up. But are you kidding me? But you know what? We'll take it. We needed it. He needed it. The team needed it. Everybody needed that right now associated with the New York Mets. So we'll take it. It doesn't matter if it was his first. Hopefully, this leads to many more. You know what I'm saying? Although Tomas Linos is my starting catcher until my man Alvarez comes back, as far as that's concerned. But you know what? Let's get on. Well, before we get onto this, I want to let's touch on something else too that I find funny. Right before we get on to the hot topic, the topic of the hour, the buy or sell, and how do you approach that, and who do you sell, who you can't sell, and who you should sell, when you should sell, why not to sell, all of that nonsense, right? Something that is I find funny, right? I, for one, was someone that was pushing for my guy Brandon Nimmo to be dropped in the order, right? Not as a punishment or anything like that. We're not talking about drop Brandon Nimmo from 1 to 7 because he's not doing anything. We're talking about man. Brandon Nimmo's performing. Brandon Nimmo's producing. Brandon Nimmo's driving in runs. Brandon Nimmo doesn't really look like a leadoff hitter no more. Brandon Nimmo never really stole bases. Why not move him down? Put him in the more in the RBI spot, right? And they do that finally, and they move them down to 3. And this guy is become a strikeout machine. It's already bad enough that the strikeouts had gone up, right? But it was okay because all the other numbers remained the same. If you look back at last season, all his numbers remained the same from 2022 pretty much or got better. Home runs got better. The only number that got worse was strikeouts, right? Okay, you found a little bit of power intentionally. You know what I'm saying? You got caught up a little bit. It showed in strikeouts. You hope this year, Nemo being someone that always works, comes back with that better balance. But even so, this year, we're still seeing where he's striking out a little bit much. And now we heard a stat today where he has struck out 15 out of his last 25 at bats. I'm pretty sure all those 25 at bats have been in the 3 holes as they moved him down. I forget how many games it's been, but it's been already about 6 games. Maybe that's not 25 at bats, but it's been close. Whatever the case is, too many damn strikeouts for Brandon Nimmo. On top of that, the guy wouldn't steal, right? For whatever reason. Sometimes he would say because he's trying to get the guys behind him a chance to hit, see pitches, whatever the excuse was. So now they move him into the 3 hole, and he can't stop stealing every time he gets on base while he's trying to. And it makes you wonder, like, what's up with this team? What do they talk about when they move Brandon in with a 3? Like, what are they telling him? Like, what makes you think that now we need you to steal bases in the 3 hole? No, we need you to make contact. We need you to drive runs in like you were doing. Just be the hitter that you were. Don't change. Don't change. It's just so frustrating. And again, Nimmo's my guy. As I go on here, and hopefully it doesn't take no more than another 10 minutes or so, as I see already approaching 20 minutes of talking nonsense, you'll see how much I believe in Nemo, how much I like Nemo. But you got to be honest. Dude, right now, this ain't it. It's going to take a miraculous run for you to have a decent season, and I hope it happens. This is the same thing all around pretty much for this team. But recently, man, it's been bad, brother. So get it together, my guy. Get it together. But let's talk about this buy, sell stuff. And listen, like I said, starting out, I too have felt like, you know what, blow this thing up. But what does it mean to blow this thing up? Right? And it means different things for a lot of people. And I know there's a lot of people out here who came into the season not really caring what was going on. Oh, there's a transition year and all that. But let's be honest, even you guys cannot be happy with what's going on right now, right? Because even you guys wanted to keep building around some of these guys that we have here, the so-called core, right? with hopes that this offseason we're gonna go out there and get the pipe dream that is Juan Soto or whatever else, right? There was talk of, you know, a trade for Corbin Burns even this offseason, or go get him as a free agent this next offseason, and other guys. While I also hoping that some of you guys think it's a guarantee that these prospects are gonna come up and all be a success, right? But even you guys have to be upset with what's going on this year. Because what's going on this year says a lot of things, and it's not good, right? And it's not good. And if this continues, and for whatever reason, right? Again, it depends on how you want to blow it up, right? Because everybody needs to blow it up, but then they have their guys that they don't want to get rid of. Their guys that they want to keep for different reasons, right? And right off the top, everybody says, "Oh well, excuse me, you can't trade Lindor. You can't trade Brandon Nimmo. Oh, they contract this. They contract that. You're not going to trade probably Edwin Diaz." And maybe people don't even say that much, especially in the last couple of days. And to me, is if you're going to blow it up, you blow it up. And you try to get rid of everyone. You try to get rid of everyone. And here it is, once again, in episode number 2, your ammunition for the Hector Hates Lindor crowd, right? If I was gonna blow this up, I don't give a damn about contract, years, money, none of that nonsense. I would find a way to trade Francisco Lindor, and that would be the first move I would make. If I was gonna blow it up, that would be the first move I would make. It wouldn't be the last move. I try to get rid of all of these guys. But what does that really mean? When you say blow it up, are you really ready for what that means? Oh no, wait, because you think we're gonna keep Lindor and we're gonna keep Nimmo and Acuna's gonna come up and be Ronald Acuna 2.0, right? Hopefully not with the injuries. And man, listen, all the good thoughts and prayers go out to Ronald Acuna, man. I just remember that. Terrible, terrible. You never want to see those non-contact injuries because you know it's bad. And there it is. I forget which one it was. ACL, MCL, out for the year once again. So good luck to him. Hopefully he has a speedy recovery, gets to be able to come back the same, if not better. Listen, you battle with these guys, you want to beat their brains in on the field without anybody getting hurt legally. When I say beat their brains in, it's just a matter of speech, not literal, right? You want to win. You want to do everything it takes legally to win. No dirty plays, a la Chase Utley, Reese Hoskins, none of that nonsense. So when you see one of these guys get hurt, it's a little, disappointing. But shout out to him. But again, we got on that right because a lot of people think, oh, Ryan Gilbert, Drew Gilbert. I'm sorry, Drew Gilbert. Ronald Acuna Jr. and this and that, and some of the Blake Tidwells and all of these guys are going to come up. And now we've seen Christian Scott have a little success, so everybody thinks that all these pitchers that come up are going to be successful, and hopefully they are. Hopefully they are. But how successful? So when you say blow it up, what do you mean by blow it up? Because when I say blow it up, blow the whole thing up. Now, if I'm going to keep anybody, obviously, you're not going to trade the young guys, right? Some of them. Because there's some of these young guys I trade right now. I don't give a damn. Straight up. Some of these young guys I trade right now. Straight up. But you will want to build around a Francisco Alvarez, right? Obviously, you want to throw a Christian Scott in there just because we've seen him. We've seen him up here, right? Some people will say, what are you talking about? Christian Scott, he hasn't shown nothing. I know that. And that's exactly my point. So when you talk about blow it up, are you ready for another 2 or 3 more seasons of losing? Of 4? Of battling? Of we're showing something? All these young guys are showing something? And maybe you could do it faster. I hope so. Again, if they all hit, if every free agent move you make, or every free agent signing you make hits, or most of them, any trades that you make hits or a success, then maybe you could do it faster. And we've talked about it at the trade deadline last year. The trades that were made in a way to speed up that process, right? So that the Mets don't have to go through what the Houston Astros did. So what the Mets don't have to go through what the Baltimore Orioles did, right? Because that's what blowing it up really means. And when you talk about prospects, it makes me think about somebody else too, another team. How do you think the Toronto Blue Jays feel about all their prospects, right? They have all these former major leaguers' sons. How has that worked out? Those guys are now hitting their arbitration years, their arbitration for the first time. Their first no, sorry, they're just finishing the arbitration, about to hit their first free agent contracts, and Toronto's already thinking about getting rid of all these young guys and basically starting over. So that's why for me this year's been frustrating because I knew this year was going to be an evaluation year for David Stearns and the ownership. I knew that. I knew that. But I said this all off season. As long as you have these players here, the Pete Alonsos, the Francisco Lindors, the Brandon Nimmels, the Jeff McNeils, the Starlin Martes, the Edwin Diaz, you should be able to win ball games. You should be able to hover around 500 and give this front office a reason to go out there and make moves. Who says you couldn't build with an influx of those young guys with some of these guys still producing while you replenish the Martes and the some of these 1 year contract guys, even though a guy like Severino is someone whom I think we should keep. I think the Mets should be looking to extend a guy like Severino. But do you do that right now? It depends. Because if you're blowing it up, no, you let him go. But to me, it's a conversation that drives me crazy right now. Is when everyone wants to talk about is, oh, I hope this guy and this guy and this guy performs well. Or if when a guy performs well, it's like, oh yeah, keep building up that trade value up. Keep building up that trade value up. Oh yeah, JD Martinez, keep building up that trade value up. Luis Severino, keep building up that trade value. Shaman I, keep building up that trade value. And to me, it's like, not to hell with that crap. Perform well so we can win some damn ball games. You know, you hear people that are saying, well, I hope the Mets don't go on a run because then this front office might go out there and make moves. This front office ain't stupid. We need to stop acting like this front office is stupid. Whether we wanted this guy to take over or not, he has a reputation. Has he won a World Series? No. You want to tell me, oh, heck, that was in the NL Central. That is weak. Whatever. He has a track record. He has a reputation. We need to give him a little bit of time. Was this offseason ideal? No. In the sense that we didn't get any, high price free agents or anything like that, any headline making moves. But if you really look at the acquisitions that he made, and don't give me no Julio Teheran and who else? Joan Ramirez and these guys. Like, come on, man. Look at the Harrison Bader. Look at the Sean Manaea. Look at the Tyrone Taylor. Look at the Luis Severino. Those guys have done well. Even Lopez. Okay. Like I said, what was it? Friday, Saturday, whatever, struggled a little bit, but he's done well. The problem with this team, we've talked about this a million times. I'm tired of saying it. Is the guys that we love. Your favorite player, my favorite player, haven't performed up to par. And again, I didn't want to go too long like this, and we're about to approach 30 minutes. So we're going to start winding it down. The last thing I want to touch on, many things I want to touch on, but we'll keep it short. So the last thing, second to last thing we'll touch on is this. It's the whole Pete Alonso thing. And I've been listening to a lot of people lately. You know what I'm saying? And listen, I argue with so many people about telling me you have to trade Pete Alonso. You can't let Pete Alonso walk for free and blah, 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 blah. I believe now it's come up that Pete actually has a qualifying offer attached to him or something like that. So we get a pick, compensatory pick, if he signs somewhere else. So you're not really losing him for nothing. Now you want to tell me you want to trade for something that you already see, that you already know, that's already in the system, in somebody's system, that you know you could work with, I guess. Or you can also just take the pick that you get and get your own guy that you work on too. You could do that, right? But to me, the bottom line is this, man. Again, I don't want to blow it up. I don't want to blow it up. Blowing it up sucks. And don't, you silly people out there, stop it. Having to break this team up sucks. Having to go through losing season after losing season after losing season sucks. And you want to tell me that that's what we've been doing anyways? Okay, I can't really fight you. I guess I can't really fight you. And hey, we going at it with these guys forever. And Pete Alonso this, Pete Alonso that. Well, Pete Alonso's going to give you 40 plus home runs. Pete Alonso's actually been hitting better since he's been in second. And I think his average is up to 240s, 250s, or something like that. Is it great? No. In the new age baseball, if he's going to hit 40 plus home runs and hit about 260, I'll take it. Shoot, I'll even take the 250 and better. What none of us wants is 220. What we do want to see is a little bit of what we've seen lately with Pete, taking the ball the other way, taking what's given to him. What we don't want to see with Pete is what we continue to see year after year is when the situation gets big, Pete sometimes gets a little bit small. Not because he crumbles to the, well, I guess he does, but because he's trying to do so damn much. He tries to do so damn much and he muscles up and he hits the ball to the warning track where if he just let it go, it'll probably freaking go into the second deck. But I don't want to get rid of Pete Alonso, man. I don't. I really don't. I really don't. But what I will say is this: doesn't mean that I don't want to make moves. Doesn't mean that I want to make moves. And I also don't agree that you wait until the trade deadline to make moves. I really don't. So I talked about earlier my guy Jeff McNeil, whom I've been a big fan of, and I talked about the fact that he just seems confused around the bag all the time. We know about the temper tantrums and all that, and I think we all agree that this team needs a shakeup. It needs like a wake up call. It does, and maybe they could turn it around the way they are. But if I was to make a move right now, it probably would be a Jeff McNeil. Just to see what that does to the clubhouse. See how that changes. Maybe that loosens things up. Maybe these guys need to loosen up, you know? And maybe a guy like McNeil, whether we like it or not, makes things a little tight with the way he is, you know? And who do you put at second base, Hector? I don't know. Listen, Acuna's been hot lately. Hopefully he keeps doing well like that. It's probably way too early to bring him up, right? I don't know if he had enough at bats in AAA, AA, and all that good stuff. I would have to look into that. But if he keeps going the way he's going, why not take a chance? You bring him up. You bring a guy like Iglesias up as his caddy. You know what I'm saying? To serve as the backup there at second base or whatever the case may be. And you get what you can for Jeff. Maybe it's addition by subtraction. People want to focus so much on the value. Well, if Jeff was playing the way we wanted him to play, then we probably wouldn't be talking about trading him. So don't talk to me about value. Oh, he has to increase his value. Again, unless you have the thought of you want all these guys to play well to then trade them, which you're gonna be upset when they don't. And all these guys start playing the way you want them to play, so that they can have good value to be traded. You're gonna be disappointed when they don't get traded because that's gonna mean that this team is gonna go on a hell of a run and is gonna be in a chance to make this watered down playoffs. So that's just where we're gonna end, right? For many years, we've seen this New York Mets team start out great, go on 11-game winning streak. Under Mickey Callaway, what was it? We started out 11-1, 11-2, whatever the hell that was. And then we've seen how it breaks down. The joke is always is the Mets are in first place to Memorial Day weekend, right? Or the Mets are in the first place or whatever. The Mets are playing well until the June swoon, right? Oh, the Mets are going to go to the West Coast and collapse. But almost all of that crap has already happened. The Mets stink by Memorial Day weekend. They sure as hell haven't won no 11 in a row. They sure as hell didn't start 11-2. They started 0-5. They already went out west and didn't do too hot. Okay, they split out there. I think it was. I forget what the hell. Won the first two against the Dodgers, lost the next three, and salvaged the series in San Francisco. Right, so it was 3-3. So what if the table is turned this year? What if the script is flipped and this team actually goes on a run and turns their season around in June? What if? And I'm not saying that leads into a World Series, but damn it, maybe it leads into a fun summer. And we deal with the offseason in the offseason and the retooling or whatever the hell is going to go on with this team. I'm sorry, guys. I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated. Trust me, I'm frustrated. I hate the 2024 New York Mets right now. Gosh, but I can't throw seasons away. So yeah, I'm hoping this team goes on a run. I'm hoping this team goes on a run. And damn it, if it goes on a run and this front office says, you know what, we don't give a damn, we're gonna pull the plug anyways and trade Pete Alonso and trade, all the obvious suspects that everybody wants to talk about, right? Trade Starling Marte, trade Severino, trade all the 1 year guys, trade JD Martinez, trade Sean Manaea. I guess I'll accept it. I guess I'll accept it. But I guess we'll see what happens. Still a chance here now on this homestand. You got 7 games left. Go out there and win 5. Why not? The Dodgers are coming in. Now, listen, usually I say this, I've said this before, I say it all the time. I'd rather face a team that is playing well than a team that's struggling because the law of averages say they're going to turn it around. And the Dodgers have lost, what is it, 5 straight? I'm not even sure. The point is, they're not doing too well. We beat them 203 out there. So it's bad enough they were already coming to get probably a little bit of revenge. And now they're probably pissed off that they lost 5. The law of averages says they need to get a couple, right? They need to turn it around. Let's hope the struggle continues a little bit longer. Let's hope the struggle continues a little bit longer. Let's go out there get a ball game tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Take at least 2 from these guys. And then you got 3 with the Diamondbacks. If you could take 3 from them, you want at least a split. But if you could take 3 from them, even better. But if you could split 2 from the Dodgers, 4-3 to finish the homestand, 5, and it'll be a split, we'll take that, especially considering the way it started. And then you see what happens from there. How do you look further into what happens, after the 10-game homestand? Where do they go? How long they go away for? And all that good stuff. But man, it's been an exhausting first couple of months, first 50 games. About they've played. How many games they've played? I forget. Um, yeah, I think it's about 51 games. I think today was the 51st game. It's been rough, but it's also a lot of games left, a lot of chance to turn it around. But again, man, thank you for everybody that checks this out. If you watch, thank you if you've subscribed to the channel. I haven't even had a chance to check if anyone has. Maybe no one has. Maybe no one's even watched the first one. Hopefully you watch the second one. Hopefully you watch them both. But we'll hope to do this more often. Again, we were gonna go live today. Probably would have been a little bit better to go live and interact with you guys because that's really what I want to do. I don't want to sit here and talk to myself and preach or whatever the case may be. I like to interact with you guys, but I wanted to share my thought on what's going on right now, on how this series just went, and what I'm hoping for going forward, guys. I'm a fan first. I'm a fan first. I'm gonna give you my opinions. Sometimes I'm gonna give you some insight. Um, we'll see how this develops. But I'm always gonna be a fan, and I'm always gonna want my team to do well. Am I gonna get upset along the way? Am I gonna go off on some guys or whatever the case may be? Absolutely. And you know what? We'll take this opportunity talking about going off. Because I put out a post on X the other day, and some of you guys may have seen it. I don't obviously Steve Cohen didn't see it, the owners didn't see it. But I will admit I was upset. I was upset, and I'm not gonna take back what I said. I'm not apologizing. I'm not taking it back. But I do admit I may have been a little harsh in the words that I used, the STFU. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. That's really how I felt, and I do feel that way. I do feel that way. And I'll even say it here. Hey, listen, Steve Cohen, we appreciate you, brother. We appreciate your moolah. We appreciate the resources. We really do. But I really don't care. I really don't care about it. You know what I'm saying? You're the owner. You just happen to be the owner. You know what I mean? Just like the Wilpons were the owner. Obviously, they couldn't afford the team anymore. They did what they had to do. Fine. But you know what I also don't care about? I appreciate the big scoreboard. I appreciate the screens and all of that stuff around the stadium now, all the TVs and all that good stuff. You know what I mean? Uh Old Timers Day, that was great. The jersey retirements, I'll hopefully be in there for Daryl's jersey retirement. People see me often wearing my Daryl jersey, one of my favorites. My favorite player is Gary Carter, though. Get my man Gary Carter up there, and then me and you'll be buddies, Steve. But honestly, dude, we don't need the crap, bro. Don't feed us the nonsense. We just want a winning team. And I know you're trying. Listen, I defend you a lot. I defend you a lot, but come on. These wise ass tweets, bro. And you can do what you want. Who the hell am I, right? You're the billionaire. I'm a nobody. I'm a nobody here doing a channel, doing a video on YouTube that nobody will watch, that you probably never listen to. But if you do, come on, dude. Really? Really? But I know you've tried. I know you've tried, but you've made some mistakes. You've made some mistakes. Keep learning. Keep trusting the baseball people. Let's keep going forward. But don't insult us, bro. We don't care about no art or no tote bag and none of that garbage. We really don't. Now, some of the giveaways are nice. You know what giveaway I miss? Which is why I do these videos now, wearing one of those shirts. I miss Free Shirt Fridays. How about you bring that back, Steve? Bring back Free Shirt Fridays. Look, and today, in support of my man Pete, you can't see it, but this is a Pete Alonso jersey or whatever the hell they call them. You know what I'm saying? With the number and name in the back. To hell with the sponsor. They don't got nothing for me. I shouldn't even be wearing this crap with a sponsor in the front. Bring back Free Shirt Fridays with no sponsors. How about that? That'll impress me. You don't need no sponsors to give out free shirts. Give us some free shirts on Fridays. But nah, man. Yo, appreciate you, but you piss me off sometimes. Anyways, everybody, what a way to end. Oh my goodness. Telling you, this is just a fan. This is not professional, but we will get better. Like I said, I appreciate the tips. I appreciate the comments and all that about how you could do this, you could do that, background this, background that. We're gonna just give us time. Give us time. This is developing. It's taking a while. It's gonna develop now, maybe a little bit faster. We'll see what goes on. But again, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully we'll do the next one. Hopefully the next one will be live. Again, you can follow me on X. I do my little recap videos every day after the game. I do one for the lineup usually, before the game start and all that good stuff. And look out for the roundtable coming up this week too, with my guys Rob, CP, and Hayden too. We should be popping one of those up. Um, Maybe after the Dodgers series, I think we're talking about. But again, everybody, hope you enjoy this. I was gonna say have a good night, but who the hell knows when you're gonna watch this? It's a good night for me. About to crash, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. We might actually make our way. Again, I'm filming this Sunday night, late Sunday night. We might actually make our way out to this Memorial Day game between the Dodgers and the Mets. Nice 4 p.m. game. See what happens there. See if we can get the series started off on the right foot. But buy or sell? That's the question. Buy or sell? What's it gonna be? We can argue about it all we want. It's up to these players to make it happen. Anyways, till next time, y'all. Peace.